which one I would use and which one's better, what the differences was. I went through all the comments on them. So let me go ahead and tell you what I think is good about them, bad about them, which one that I would pick. And hopefully, if you're looking for an alternate browser, one that's going to do something that sort of the big two don't do, give one of the Operas a shot. They're both really, really solid alternatives. Let's start with Opera Coast. And again, if you haven't seen these videos, we'll link them down in my pants region. So first, I loved the UI of it. I'm a nut for pretty design, and this one was the prettiest browser that I've used. It was really, really clean. I liked when I was looking at a website, there was no clutter really on the screen at all. There were just 3 icons, and that was it. Sharing is really important to me when I'm doing websites. I'm sharing stuff to the staff. I want them to see an article. I'm sending stuff home to my wife or my sister or whatever. So they made sharing really, really elegant. When you hit the share button, you almost get a thumbnail of that article as well, which I really like. Just a small sort of token to show that they're really putting a lot of effort to design. I like the tiles interface a lot too. I like to be able to interact with them. There's a lot of animations too that I kind of dug, like when you remove a tile, it sort of pops down from the top. Also, when you go ahead and put in a URL, I really liked when you go ahead and did that pull down, news started populating, took advantage of a lot of empty space. Swiping left to right was enjoyable to go back and forth in pages. I'd have to deal with arrows. I like that it's pretty much always private as well. As long as you delete the tile there, all of your browsing history is going to be gone. Not that I have anything to hide or anything, but I just prefer to not have everything be saved and tracked on my phone. But all is not perfect. Certainly there could be things that could change or be improved or things that you might not like. Animations can certainly add to a wait time. We saw that with iOS as a whole. When sort of beta 8 got launched, there were really long animations. Those sort of got cut down. There's also a really big learning curve. Usually when I pick up a new browser, I can figure it out very quickly. Opera Coast took me a little bit of time, but the more I got to use it, certainly the more I appreciate it. It also doesn't do much to conserve data. You're probably saying to yourself, what browser does things to conserve data? And I will tell you which one in just a minute. And probably, and most importantly to a lot of you, there isn't an Android equivalent out there quite yet. Android has its own sort of browser options. There are a ton of browser options available, but there's not an Opera Coast version for Google's OS. Next, let's talk about Opera Mini. There's a lot to like here as well. First, it's really minimal. It's stripped down to give you the essence of what a browser is supposed to do. And because of that, it's really easy to learn. It's got a few features that I think are just really, really useful. For those that might be on data limits and you've got a smaller data plan you're worried about going over, it's got something called Opera Turbo. And what that's going to do is it's going to actually shave out unnecessary pixels on a website. It's going to cut out things that you don't need while viewing a site and sort of help you save on data. Not just a little bit. We're talking 30, 40, 50% of what that website might have used for data. It's going to free up for you. So it's a giant deal. And what that does for text, you also have Video Boost. That does for video. You lose a little bit of video fidelity while browsing YouTube or watching any other video, but it's going to save you just a ridiculous ton of data. If you're on a 2 GB data plan, for example, it can go so much farther. So that's a huge deal if you're worried about data. I like the Discover Newsfeed feature as well. As you sort of swipe over to the right, you get news that populates right there as well. But like everything, things aren't always perfect. Looking how pretty and nicely designed Opera Coast was, Opera Mini is definitely a slimmed down, trimmed version. There is Android equivalent though, but it's a few versions behind what you get on iOS. So if I had to pick one, in fact, I have picked one, when I go to browse, I'm picking Coast. I like the way it looks, I like the UI, I like the attention to detail in it. I've got a 10 GB plan. I've never even come close to using that, so I'm not worried about my data usage. I really like the way it looks, like the minimal design of it, like being able to swipe back and forth to refresh pages. But for me, it's a personal taste. I just appreciate the design that went into it. If I was on a lower data plan, I want to conserve data, or I wasn't always on Wi-Fi, for example, I would use Opera Mini in a heartbeat. If you haven't tried it, and if you're sort of worried about how much data you're going to be using, give them both a shot. They're both free to download and available from the App Store. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Give a thumbs up for alternative browsers. Until next time, I'm John Ranger from Techno Buffalo. See you next video. Bye-bye. Thank you guys for watching another Techno Buffalo video. I hope you enjoyed. We love consumer electronics here, and if you are as passionate about them as we are, hit the big subscribe button. We've got new videos coming at you every day. We talk about phones, tablets, laptops, and everything in between. And if you like video games, check us out at Twitch, where we play video games, although admittedly not very well, at twitch.tv/technobuffalo. All links are right down below.